Hi, hi, hi. Happy Thursday, guys. I hope you're having a lovely day. We're going to dive right in because I have 1 hour to do this whole workshop. And honestly, this workshop is like condensing what you could work through in years of entrepreneurship. Well, obviously, we're not going to be able to do that. We only have a small amount of time. So I'm just going to pack a punch, which means I have to get right to it very quickly. So, okay, I just ate and now I'm like, do I have food in my teeth? I should have checked. Hey, Sharon. Okay, so as you guys are hopping on, number one, like I said, I have to dive right into it. We have a lot of ground to cover, and I want to make sure that I get to you everything really good and juicy right away. Also, I hate getting on trainings and people are like, let's talk about random shit for 10 minutes. So, all I'm going to do is make sure I'm actually live in the group. If you are on live, put hashtag live. If you're on the replay, put hashtag replay. I would also love to know in the comments what drew you here. Like, what specifically? We're going to go there in this workshop. This is called a workshop because legit, we're about to go through some shit, okay? We're not here to just like share fluffy stuff and make you feel good. Like, we're going there. We're going deep. We're going to go into it. That might scare you a little bit, but it's all going to be beautiful. It's all going to be really fun. It's all going to be good, but we are definitely going there, okay? Because me sitting here and just sharing information about how to be more visible is like me teaching you how to ride a bike. If you don't ever get on the bike, you're not going to learn how to ride a bike. So there's a big difference between understanding something and knowing. You may understand the technicalities of like how to put yourself out there online and how to share your message and how to post and how to make a reel, but if you don't know why you're struggling to be visible, or the part of you that's afraid to put yourself out there, if you don't really know, then it's just information. So with this workshop, I called it a workshop for a reason, because we're really going to go into it, and it's not just going to be information. It's going to be more you starting to know on a more visceral feeling level the things that your soul wants you to know to go to the next level. So I will say, number one, a few housekeeping things. I think I'm live. I can see comments, so we're good. I can see comments. I have a few notes so I don't get too all over the place. But number one, if you're new to this Facebook group, welcome. I keep it very clean around here. So if you don't engage with the group for a while, you don't interact, I remove people who aren't interacting every single month, because I just don't want a bunch of people who aren't interested in hearing me talk, because it also messes with the algorithm. So if you want to stay in this group beyond this workshop, just make sure every now and then, if you like something, like it, engage, comment, that sort of thing. Number two, I'm a channel. So if you're new to my work, I'm Cassie. Hi, I'm a business mystic, fully out of the spirituality closet, and I'm a channel. So a lot of what will come through me is specifically what the collective here needs. These workshops and the things that I do for free are channeled from collective consciousness. So it's literally me tapping into the field, seeing what my people need, and creating that. So I had a lot of people, more people than ever, sign up for this workshop than I've ever had, because it's coming through loud and clear that this is what people need. And it's also something I've worked through a lot. So if you don't know my history and my story, I'm going to keep it really brief because I want to get to the good stuff. Oh, from Germany. How cool. I have been an entrepreneur since 2016. And when I talk about being visible online, I know my shit, because I've literally been in the online space building all online since 2016. I have my first business I ever built was in health and fitness. So I grew a very large following with my health and fitness business. And then I pivoted to this business about a year ago. And this is now my full-time business. And I had to face all of those visibility fears again, all of those things I was afraid to look at, because in my health and fitness, I didn't talk about spirituality. I didn't talk about the fact that I'm a channel. I didn't talk about, being a business mystic. So I really had to go through all of the work that I'm going to be teaching you today all over again. And I continue to. So one of the things I want you to know about this kind of work that we're going to do, it's not a one and done deal. As you continue to go to a new level, a new identity, a new way of being, you will have to do this work over and over and over again. It gets easier, but it's never going to end. There's never going to be a point where you're like, I'm done, I'm there, I never have to work on visibility again. At least in my opinion, I've never found that to be true, because as I go to a new level, and let's say I want to work with a new client, or I want to raise my prices, it all comes up again, right? Or Instagram releases a new feature where they're like, okay, it's all about video. Well, then all the fears around video come up. Okay, so that is that was the housekeeping. Number one, make sure to engage in the group or I will remove you. No hard feelings. Number two, I'm a channel. I curse a lot, so just be ready if there's kids around. Third thing for housekeeping, have a pen and paper. You're going to want to journal. You're going to want to write some things down probably because I'm going to ask you some questions to help you get in touch with your higher self and connect with the part of you that is ready to work through this. And like I said, if you signed up for this, it's because some aspect of yourself, like your higher self, drew you to this experience. You're not here by accident. This isn't some fluffy like bullshit workshop. This is literally going to help you. So you're here for a reason, and I'm grateful for the fact that you're here, and super honored to work with you in this space. So have a pen and paper. If you have questions, drop them in the chat, and I'm going to share with you a way to work together. I like to put that right out front that I am like, I have a business, I sell things. So during this, at the end, and it's probably in the middle a little bit, I'll share ways we can work together if you feel called. Okay. Let's get to it, guys. Are you ready to dive in? Okay. Oh, and then, oh yeah, sorry guys, last thing, I almost forgot. This is available completely for free in this group until Sunday. After that, I will have my VA put together a link and you can purchase lifetime access for $5.55. So free until Sunday, after that $5.55. So watch it so you don't have to pay for it. Unless you want to, which is totally fine. All right, really quick let me feel into the energy here. So I'm just gonna clear the space for like 2 seconds, guys. So if you want, do it with me. If you can't and you're not in a space to close your eyes, I don't want you to crash if you like driving your car, but we're going to call in the highest crystalline light with the highest healing vibrations to surround this as a sacred healing space and provide for you everything that you need from this workshop, and set the intention that old energies, past lives, trauma from this life is going to be brought up and accepted and released through this process at its own pace. We'll get the lessons that we need to get. You'll get everything you need from this. We also call in our higher selves, our guides of the highest good for us and all, and our angels of the highest good for us and all to support us through this process. And any other intentions that you want to set. We're going to clear the energy really quick and then ground yourself through your root chakra. If you don't know how to do that, I will do it for you. And we're good. All right, let's go. So my history, like I said, I have had a business since 2016. So I want to say first and foremost, being visible online has nothing to do with the number of followers you have. They're not related. I think we sometimes think that, oh, being visible means I have to have 10,000 followers or whatever on Instagram. And it's not correlated. They're two different things. What I'm teaching here, can it help you get more followers? Yes, it absolutely can. And it will when you do this work. But that's not the ultimate goal. And I say that because if you go to my current Instagram that I'm active on now, my new one that I built, it's just Cassie Builts. I don't have very many followers, you guys. I only have like 730 or something. It's not that many followers. And it has nothing to do with my worth, my ability to make money, my ability to impact people, or how visible I can be. Nothing to do with it. Nothing. My first business, I was very obsessed with, like, if I want to be visible and I want to grow my business, I have to have a lot of followers. And I really got stuck in that cycle for many years of like just amassing followers. And I grew that account to like 17,000, and I grew an email list to thousands and thousands. And I really thought that I had to have more people because more people equals more money and more success and more. And it's just not true. You don't need a ton of people that you're visible to who resonate with you to make a shit ton of money. You don't need to be visible to everybody in the world to impact the world in the way you're here to impact, unless you want to be. There is a part of you that maybe desires to be visible, and you've shamed that. I know there was for me. I used to, there's somebody I follow, Amanda Francis. I'll just come out and share how I felt. I love Amanda Francis. I don't know if any of you guys know her. And she had a course out at one point a while ago. And I don't even remember what it was called, but it was something about how to become famous online. And I remember seeing that and being very judgmental, to be completely honest. I was just very like, oh, who would want that? That's so shallow. And the irony is, what we judge in another is something that we aren't willing to look at and accept within ourselves. And it took me a while of being triggered by different people saying that they were trying to become visible and become famous, whatever you want to call it, to realize, Cassie, like, whatever you're projecting onto them is what you feel within. So if every time I look at somebody who's seeking to be seen, to build their brand online, if every time I look at them and I'm like, well, you're shallow, or that's wrong, then what am I saying about me? It's all about me. It's all a mirror of me. And what I realized that was, I do have a desire to be visible to my people, but I also simultaneously shamed that part of me because I thought wanting to be seen made me a bad person. Now, I don't know why. I don't know. Honestly, I can't figure out a time, and it doesn't matter. But there was never like a moment in time that I remember that correlation happening in my subconscious, but it definitely happened. So the first thing I want you to look at is, where are you judging people who you perceive as having visibility online, fame online, sacred fame online, whatever you want to call it? Is there any part of you that judges them, is annoyed by them, thinks they're shallow? Because whatever you reject about them, it's really you rejecting that about you. That came through, so maybe somebody resonated with that. So if that resonates, put in the comments like, yes, I definitely feel that way. If you haven't, that's totally fine too. But that was a big one for me, because we can't claim for ourselves what we condemn in another. I'm going to say that again. You cannot claim for yourselves what you condemn in another. It's the same thing with money. If you look at people who have money and who are wealthy and judge them, you're condemning that aspect of them. You'll never allow yourself to have it, because to have it would then make you like them. It would make you a bad person, right? It was only ever about me realizing that, oh, she's triggering this in me because it's ready to be looked at and it's ready to be healed. Okay? So you don't need a ton of people to be visible. You just, guys, the key with visibility online is like, the number doesn't matter. It's more so about, I really am ready to be seen by my people, by my soulmate people. And as you continue to do the inner work and bring online different aspects of yourself, and what I mean by bring online is like, you stop putting things in the shadow, you stop judging yourself, you stop shaming yourself. As you bring online different aspects in your way of being, what happens is, I want you to picture like a visual. It's almost like there's like little light bulbs lighting up all over your energetic field, all over your aura. And the more light bulbs that light up because you've done the work, the more people in the world are going to see you, because they're going to resonate with that energy. Because you're lighting up, you're literally more visible. And so you are going to resonate with more and more and more people. Now, what we're taught to do, and if you're new to my world and you came here and you were like, what the fuck? I thought I was going to learn how to be visible. I thought I was going to learn like some strategy like that. I'm not your girl, because that's not what I teach, and I don't know anything about that. Actually, I do know a lot about it. I just don't think it works. Just saying. So if you came here to learn like, what is the Instagram reel hack so I can be more visible and go viral, that's not what I'm teaching. What I am going to teach you is the energetics behind it, the releasing of childhood trauma around it, so that you can show up as your authentic self. So you can be who you want to be. And when you go in the online space on Instagram, Facebook, whatever your preferred place is, you feel really, really free. And you feel really happy. Now, I want you to just really quickly, like, close your eyes, tune in. Imagine yourself opening up, like, whatever app you're most present on in your business. Or maybe it's like, I'm not even on social media. That's totally fine too. But what comes up when I mention social media that makes you so resistant to being on it? Whatever comes up for you, maybe you're opening Instagram or opening Facebook, I just want you to feel into like, what's the general feeling you have around that platform? Is it heaviness? Is it joy? Is it warmth? Is it anxiety? Like, share in the comments, what's the feeling that comes up for you? And actually, let's go deeper. Fear, okay. Anxiety, inadequate, yeah. Feeling or not. And notice how common these things are. Sounds like a lot of work. Love that, Chelsea. I love that, Chelsea. The reason I love that is because that can be a really easy reframe, but we could talk about that. Like, I used to feel that way too. I used to feel like, oh my God, it's going to be a lot of work. And when you work through this stuff and we stop running from it, when you're really just being yourself, it's actually, I do lazy girl marketing, okay? I do lazy girl marketing. Y'all follow me. If you don't, you can look at my Instagram. My reel yesterday was like, literally like, I want to share something, but I'm really fucking tired right now. So I was like, I really want to share something, but I'm also really fucking tired. So I'm just going to say it. Like, I don't have time to write a post. When I try to write a post, Instagram cock blocks it anyway. So it's like, and that right there, that belief that if I write a post, Instagram algorithm's not going to accept it, is also a limiting belief in work I can do. But nonetheless, I just held up my phone and I just talked. And then I posted it. I didn't even like write a caption, I don't think. And I didn't have any like fancy text on it. So lazy girl marketing all day long, Chelsea. Because your people, they don't want all the fluff. They don't need all the extra. It doesn't need to be complicated. But we are taught by so many marketing experts and gurus that it has to be complicated. You have to have the perfect reel, and you have to have the perfect caption, and you need to make sure you use these hashtags, and you make sure you use trending audio. And some of that can be great, because I do think there is space for those strategies. But if we're doing those strategies because we feel like it's what we have to do to get what we want, the energy underneath the strategy is what will always be created and returned to us. The energy with which you create something is always what's returned. Always. It's the law. So if you create a reel and you're like, I'm creating this from the energy of like, this is what I have to do to be seen because this is what Instagram wants, and like, I'm going to go do this strategy that feels really shitty, but it's what I have to do because it's what my coach told me I had to do to be successful. If we go do that, the energy with which you put that out, what's the underlying frequency? Lack, fear, inadequacy. Then that's just going to keep being returned. And then it creates this perpetual cycle online where we're just constantly feeling in these energies. And then eventually we're like, I don't want to open my phone. I don't want to be online. Fuck all this. And it's because all of this work that we get to do in the online space, in your social media specifically, and in being visible, is actually, guys, really, really, really soul work. It's mirror work, it's soul work. Because the online space will constantly mirror back to you what's going on within you. Because that's all it can ever do. So we can either run from it and be like, I'm going to pretend I'm not dealing with it. Or we can try to just appease the algorithm and not deal with it. Or we can try to just like force and hustle our way there, which I've done, and it's exhausting. Or we can just do this work. Oh, hi, Thad. Using my little baby. Or we can just do this work, right? So this is soul work that we're doing here. Wow, that was really wet. Sorry. So let's go a little bit deeper here, okay? I'm going to read a couple. I agree with Chelsea. I strongly dislike the message around you need to show up every day. Yeah, I agree, Tina. And it's like, I guess that's a topic that I could go into on a different training, so I'm not going to try to harp on that one too much. But this idea of consistency doesn't even make sense because you can be consistent and consistently doing the wrong things. Like, consistency for the sake of consistency doesn't fucking work. Because if you're being consistent, but you're in the energy of lack, I'm not good enough, I'm afraid, then all you're doing is being consistent in that energy, and it doesn't work. So do I love consistency? I don't really think much about it, to be honest. What I'm more interested in is commitment. I think commitment, we have to work from commitment. We have to be committed to what we want. But commitment and consistency are two totally different things. You can be 100% committed to your business, to your marketing, to your people, to your message, and only post once a week. So I agree with the consistency thing. And I don't know where we picked up that idea that we have to be like, constantly on. I don't know. But because I agree. And it makes it a should. And when it becomes a should, we're coming from that energy of like lack, forcing it, and it's only gonna breed that kind of energy again. IG feels like work to me, too pretty. TT, what is TT, Tina? I should know what that means, but I wrote TikTok. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. And so when it comes to being visible, another thing you guys should feel into is what space feels good to you. Like, there are 1,000 marketing places, and I feel like when I first started my business, I was like, I need to be all the places, do all the things. So I literally was on Instagram, on TikTok, had a podcast, had my email. For a while, I even looked at doing, I can't remember that like really professional one. I can't remember the name of. I was all the places because I was like, well, this is what I have to do, right? And it's really about tuning into like what feels good at a soul level to you. What feels good, what feels easy, what feels fun. For me, that's Instagram, so I spend most of my time on Instagram. I tried TikTok, it did not feel good. But no judgment, because you're going to be successful wherever you feel the most alive, the most happy, you're having the most fun. Not what somebody else said is going to make it work, because that, again, it goes back to the energy behind the doing. It's not about the doing, it's about the being, doing, the doing. TikTok, yeah, sorry, I got it. It's like, okay. Now, if you guys are interested, I'm trying to figure out here. Let me feel into this really quick. Because I'm like, I want to take you guys through a meditation, but I'm tempted to save that for a minute. Actually, what I want to do now, and you are welcome to just put in the chat or you can write in your journal. Let's do some questions. This is going to be really, really, really helpful, guys. Because a lot of the work that we do online is also around with visibility. It's not about like, let me go make the reel to go viral. Again, that won't work if you have energetic blocks that are preventing your people from seeing you. So for example, when I started this business, I went on Instagram and I attracted followers. Like, I have people, I don't have a huge account, but what I started to realize was there was an energetic wave over my content. And what will happen is if you unconsciously don't feel safe in the online space, it puts like an energetic blur over your content to where people don't not resonate with it. They don't resonate with it. They don't see it. Like, people literally are just scrolling past. They don't see you because maybe deep inside you desire to be invisible because you're afraid. That is the energetic lens that will go over all of your content. And so when I started realizing, I actually work with a coach, and my coach Marley, she was like, Cassie, I think your content's great, but you have an energetic film over it almost. It's almost like it's blurry energetically. And that's because I wasn't being who I really am. I was hiding parts of myself. I was being censored. And when we censor ourselves online, that's essentially what we do. We don't call in as many of our soulmate people because we're not really fully in our power. And people resonate with your energy. They resonate with who they get to be in your presence. So if you think about your platform, your TikTok, for example, when somebody comes to your TikTok, they're not going to buy, work with you, sign up with you because of some amazing offer and your amazing copy and your beautiful graphics and how funny you are or how good you look. They're literally never going to buy for those reasons. Consciously, they might think those things, but that's not why people buy. People buy because of unconsciously they feel something. Always. It's because they feel something. And the things people feel when they're on your content, on your social media, is they're feeling your way of being. They're feeling who you're being. Now, this isn't happening on a conscious level most of the time, but they're tapping into your energy. And so when we just don't pay attention to these blocks that we have around visibility, it's kind of like taking a house that's falling down and we're not fixing the foundation. We're just like painting this shitty house, trying to make it look better. So we're like, maybe if I just get enough reels out, if I make enough content, I'll finally get clients. If I say the right thing, I'll finally get clients. And it's like you're just painting this house that's falling down instead of dealing with the foundational issue of energetically, you're cock blocking yourself all day long because you're terrified or you don't feel good enough or you're afraid to offend people, right? The other thing to look at here is thinking about how you see your audience is actually more important than worrying about how they see you. And we spend all of our time worrying about like, how are people perceiving me? Am I saying the right thing? Am I saying the wrong thing? Let's just like take a step back and look at how are you relating to your audience? Because that's really important. How you think people are is how they be in your presence. Okay? So I'm going to get into this. I'm going to ask you some questions about your audience. And I also really quick want to share that this, like I said, this is an hour workshop. I have absolutely no ability to teach everything that would go into really, really, really going deep into this in an hour-long workshop. It's just not possible. So I'm going to go with what I can, but just know this is like scratching the surface. This work is work. Like, it takes a level of dedication and willingness. It's a spiritual journey for me. It's not just about let me get likes and like grow my business. It's about, who do I want to become? Who do I want to be? How can I be of service to the world? And I can't be of service to the world. I can't help the world in a bigger way. I can't raise the consciousness of the planet and raise the vibration of the planet if I'm not seen, if I'm hiding, if I'm not visible. So it's really looking at it from a higher perspective, like from the perspective of your soul. And this is consistent work that has to be done. There is a time for consistency, and I think that time would be with this kind of stuff. Because if you just do like let's say you just do this workshop and you never do anything again regarding this will help for sure. But there could be there are so many layers that could be underneath that you're not going to be able to get to if you don't decide and commit to your own inner journey around, who do I want to be? What do I want to create in the world? How do I want to resonate with people? What do I want my message to be? How do I want to stand out online? What kind of thoughts do I want to have that I share with the collective consciousness? What kind of leader do I want to be? This work is stepping into self-leadership. This work is leadership. Leading yourself has to come first. As you lead yourself, you can lead others, but you can't lead others until you're leading you. So I just want to say, if you really, I'm hot. I'm going to scoot over. Sorry, the sun is like touching me and beating down on me. But do make this work consistent, okay? So that you really start to see the benefits. And it doesn't have to be like hours every day. It could be literally in the morning, you know? And I'm actually, for those of you interested in working together and going more deeply, I have a 6-week mini mind, I'm calling it starting Monday, called Sacred Magnetism. And Sacred Magnetism is really deep into all of this. It's going to be a course, like course access to the Sacred Magnetism course. And it is the inner alchemy of going from invisible online to magnetic. That's what it is. It's the alchemy, the process of alchemizing these things so that you can go from invisible, feeling like you're just not seen, to being magnetic online. And so it's going to include the Sacred Magnetism course and 6 weeks of Voxer coaching with me. So it'll also have group coaching calls and custom hypnosis and meditations, very deep into this work. So if you're interested in that, I'll share more at the end. Okay, so let's hear the questions. Number one, I want you to feel into, we already felt into how you're currently feeling about being visible online, about your social media. Now I want to ask some questions regarding your audience. First one is, do you feel like your audience is full of past versions of you, or like you right now and you're totally vibing with them? And feel free to put in the chat or keep it to yourself. And you could even do like feel into a percentage. So you're like, okay, I feel like my audience is like 10% old me, 90% who I am now. Like, feel into how you view your audience. Part of the reason I made a new Instagram when I started this business was I felt into my audience on my Instagram that I grew to that big following, and I was like, this is such a past version of me. I can't even, it felt like really, I love everybody who follows me, so it's nothing, it is not against anything at all, right? It just felt like old energy. Like, every person here is just old energy. Like, this is all a past version of me, and I tried so hard to keep it going and make it work, and I was like, I can't. So sometimes the answer is to make a new Instagram where it's like fresh, new, exciting energy. But even then, I'm still constantly asking myself, how am I viewing my audience? Do I see my audience and the people I'm talking to as old versions of me, or who I really desire to talk to now? Okay, mostly old, mostly old. Okay, that's what most of us do unconsciously without realizing it. And what happens is when we see our audience as that, we unconsciously create content for those people. And do you see how that creates a disconnect in selling our programs? Because if you're making your content speaking to old people, you're automatically lowering your frequency, lowering your vibration, lowering, if you want less woo words, you're going back into an old identity. And your soul is about forward movement. Your soul is about growth and expansion. So you trying to go backwards and talk to these people who don't get you and aren't going to resonate with who you really are is exhausting, and they're not going to come with you. It's kind of like us turning around and being like, come on, aren't you going to come with me? Look at all the great places I'm going. Like, it's like begging people to come with you energetically. We don't realize we're doing it a lot of times, so creating awareness around that and cleaning that up. The way to clean that up is just become aware that you're doing it, first of all. So, okay, I've realized that, like, I'm talking to my past audience. And then as you post, bring conscious intention to it. This post is for the new people that I'm bringing into my world, the energy I want to be in now, right? Intention is everything. Now, if you're like I was, where I had that big account and all those people, and I was like, I'm not even, like, to me, it was 0% of my followers are where I'm at. I felt like I am a totally different person. It may make sense to make a new account if that's what you feel called to do. But you don't have to. It's just becoming aware of how you're seeing them now. Which brings me to question number 2. Do you feel like there are tons of soulmate clients in your audience who are just, would be amazing, would love to work with you, you'd love to work with them? Tons of soulmate people in your audience, or there's just a few? Like, there's not that many people who really get me and I really get, there's just not that many people out there for me. Right? How do you feel? Oh, yeah. Okay, so Tina said I was catering my message to what I thought they wanted to hear versus how I wanted to show up. I love this because that's what we're taught to do. It's not even your fault. That's literally what these marketing people are teaching, and no shame. None of this is to shame anybody. I know that we're afraid to speak out about our opinions because we're like, I don't want other people in my industry to feel like I'm shaming them, or I'm none of that. It's just every paradigm is possible. All paradigms exist. I'm choosing to live in a different paradigm. And when I choose a different paradigm, that means I choose a different reality. It's like Neo in the Matrix when he takes the red pill. You get to opt out of that bullshit. You get to take the red pill and you get to say, oh, wait a minute. That doesn't even make sense. I'm not going to spend all this stuff I was taught to do with marketing, where I'm taught to say the right things so people will pay. That exists and it works. But do I really want to do that? And I'll tell you, as you shift in your, I'm just going to go full woo because I'm very spiritual, so whatever, we're just going to go there. As you raise your vibration more and more and more, you won't resonate with the victim consciousness, you won't resonate with mass consciousness, and you definitely won't resonate with lower vibration marketing. So when you see that marketing, it'll really bother you, and you won't ever buy from those people. And in addition, what happened to me was I was taught to market like that, right? I was taught to market what I think people want so that they'll buy. And what happened was I did that and eventually got to this point where I would get sick to my stomach because I was like, this feels so bad. It feels so wrong. But I kept thinking, well, this is what I'm taught to do. This is what I have to do. And finally I was like, if this is what it takes to be quote unquote successful in business, I don't want any part of it. Not that it's wrong. It just, to me, it no longer resonates. And so I want to remind you that to Tina, I think that was you who said that, your people feel the same way. As your vibration shifts, as your level of consciousness shifts, you go to a place where your people, they're not going to buy because you're saying what you think they want to hear. They're going to buy because you're just being all of you in your full authenticity. You're not selling to victim consciousness and to fear. You're actually selling to the higher part of themselves that's resonating in love. It's the same reason that I don't do false scarcity, which is what was taught to me 100%. Like, and no shame, it's taught to a lot of people. It's taught to a lot of people. There's nothing wrong necessarily, but it was like, my people, they smell bullshit from a mile away because their consciousness isn't even vibrating at that level. They're not victims. They're highly empowered. They know the bullshit. So I can sit here and try and create false scarcity, or I can just straight up be honest about everything. You know what I mean? And it's going to work because I'm vibrating in that frequency of love. Okay. Okay, and then Tina's like, call BS on so much of the messaging that comes from others in my niche. Yeah. Yeah. And she said she was trying to tread softly. And that is hard. And I'm still processing and working through that, I'll be honest. Because like I said, as you continue to grow, you're going to face new levels, new devils, so to speak. But I feel that same way now, where I'm like, as I come out more and more with some of my beliefs around marketing and being seen online, it does go in the face of some of my colleagues, some of my good friends, some people I really love. And it's like, I just try, I believe, and I choose to believe, that my people understand my intention, and my intention is always with love. And I also practice holding space for different perspectives and enjoying the challenge. Like, so for example, I follow some people who see marketing very differently than me. And I see their content, and I actually practice being open-minded, like holding space for their different perspective. Because I want people to have that same grace with me and not get offended and get mad every time I say something that doesn't agree with their version of reality, which is what, most people do. But we're not most people. If you're here and you're in my world, you're kind of weird probably. And you're a mystic, and this is how it is. Like, we can hold different perspectives without getting upset about it, and we can trust that our people are willing to do that as well. And if they do get upset about it, we can trust ourselves that in that moment we can handle it. We can face that fear. We can face that feeling. Yes, Amethyst said, I struggle to find my clique, and thus I believe there are only a few people in my tribe. That, I totally resonate with that. I'm going to go into a meditation in a second, Amethyst, that may help with that. But that's a belief, right? And until we look at that belief, and until we be with that part of ourselves that feels small and different and weird, it's just going to keep rearing and trying to be seen. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, weird isn't the best way. I fly my freak flag proudly, because life is so boring if you're not weird. All right, next question. Do I talk to people actually, let me word this differently. Am I in convincing energy? We kind of already talked about this. But anytime you're posting because you're like, well, this is what I think people want, that's convincing energy. Anytime you're in the energy of, how do I go get clients? How do I price this so I get clients? How do I share this so I can get clients? How do I create the perfect funnel so I can get clients? That's all underneath it. It's all convincing energy. And every single time, if you think about, I take everything back to frequency because that's just the way my brain works. But if you think about frequency, when you're talking to people, you have to convince they're at one level, right? If all of your content is talking to them, then what's happening? All these people over here, up here, you're not talking to at all, and they're not resonating with the damn thing you say, therefore they're not buying and they're not signing up. So we want to be careful of how often am I getting into convincing energy. And it can be really tricky, and you have to just practice becoming conscious of it and shifting back into what's the opposite of convincing energy? Well, being in your power, being in your sacred magnetism, knowing who the fuck you are, knowing and trusting that your people will resonate. They will see it. Who's meant to be in this offer, this program, this product will buy it. It's constantly bringing yourself back to that inner power. One of them is very needy and trying to get something. The other is very in her power, I already know that what I desire is divinely provided. Anything less than trust is lack. Anything less than full trust is lack. So anytime you start getting into scarcity and lack, that's when you'll know, oh, I'm starting to get into that convincing energy again. And then this is a big one, and this may trigger some of you guys, and I'm just gonna keep it real. But do you handhold your audience? Because this was me. This was me for my entire, literally guys, for my entire first business, which I built a lot of success with that business, but I handheld the fuck out of it. And what I mean by handholding your audience is you're victimizing them unconsciously. So examples of this would be I just recently had this happen and I caught myself because you go unconscious to these things, right? You don't realize you're doing them. And recently I was selling something and I had multiple people reach out to join, and the deadline was happening the next day, and I was like, oh my God, I better check in with them and follow up with them so they know, hey, the door's closed tomorrow. And as I'm going to do this, I was like, wait a minute. Am I hand-holding my people? Because I personally don't want to have to do that. I don't want to build a business where I have to baby my people, because that's not only disempowering to them, it's enabling to them. So instead, what I'm going to do is close the doors in 24 hours, like I said, and they'll either get on the train or they won't. But I'm not going to sit here and follow up with you because you're an adult and I believe in you and I know how powerful you are, and I'm not going to speak to the part of you that isn't in your power. Whatever we speak to in people, we bring out in them. So this is why paying attention to how you perceive your audience is really, really important. If you see them as victimized by money work is really important with visibility as well. We think it's about just like being visible, but there's so much more shit, you guys, that goes into this. But it's the same thing with money as well. If you feel like when people pay you, you're taking something from them, you're victimizing them, and then you're taking away their power. And however you perceive them is how they will show up for you. So if I were to go up and follow up with a bunch of people, it's not necessarily wrong at all. It's not wrong at all. It's not wrong at all. It's just, I have to ask myself, what experience of life do I want to have? What kind of business do I want to have? And I want to see people fully in their power. I want people who are like, this is what I want. Give me the link. I'm ready to go. And that is who I work with. I don't get objections at all. At all. Because I've done so much of this work that they don't exist for me. If I got one, I wouldn't really care either. It's not like it bothers me. I don't mind, you know. And I can answer questions. Like if somebody has questions, DM me. Let's chat about it for sure. I'm going to be really fucking blunt though. Like I had somebody message me a while ago, asking if one of my offers were for her. And I could tell that what she was really asking was, are you going to hold my hand and check in with me every day and make sure I'm doing this? And I straight up was like, no, I'm actually not going to do that. You know, so when people ask you, just be honest. Just be honest about exactly what they're going to get and they're not going to get. And I told her, no, I'm not going to check in with you every day. That's not my job. That's not the kind of coach I am. I'm not an accountability coach. And I actually don't think you need that. I think you're a badass motherfucker and you can show up. And she joined my program a month later. So, what are your thoughts on reminding your clients when they are already your clients, Chelsea? It's kind of the same thing. I usually check in intuitively. So sometimes in some of my group programs, if I have a call, I'll tag everybody in the program who's like, they're already clients, right? So I'll tag them and say like, hey, we have a call. Sometimes I do that, but I always check where I'm coming from. If it's coming from the part of me that's like, I need to make sure people are okay. I need to make sure if it's coming from the part of me that makes myself responsible for other people, I don't do it. But if it's coming from just like, oh yeah, it'd be cool to remind them, then I don't mind. I don't think there's necessarily right or wrong. But for the most part, I just allow people to be the badass motherfuckers they are. And I know that they're fucking bosses and they're going to remember. You know what I mean? Because I want to always remind people of their power. And in order for me to do that, I have to remember their power. And I have to see them in their power. Hopefully that answers your question. So we spent a lot of time on, and I'm sorry if I'm talking really fast, guys. I just want to get through everything. But we just spent a lot of time on some of the questions for how you view your audience. There's some more, but I'm going to stop for that part for now. Let me take a sip of water and collect my thoughts. Roxy! No. My dog is digging holes again. Okay. I'm looking at my notes to make sure I'm on track here. Okay. I actually have a couple things I want that's coming through that I need to share because there's somebody who needs to hear it, and then we're going to do the meditation. So when it comes to being visible online, like I've already mentioned, it's all the inner work, and you need to be willing to feel a lot of things that up until this point you haven't been willing to feel. That is the key. That is everything. That is all the work. As I've already shared, it's not about going out and doing a bunch of strategies so that you can hopefully be seen. That doesn't work. Because if you're going out with the energy of like, I'm going to post so I can feel validated, first of all, how many times have we done that? And you still, it's like the well that never gets filled. You're never actually going to feel validated because you're trying to make something outside of you fill a void that's inside of you. It's not, it can't happen. But also, if you're coming from the energy of like, I want to go out and make myself validated, you have to remember that the universe just reads your energy and gives it right back to you. So when you put out the energy of I need to be validated, the universe says, yes, you do. You need to be validated. And it's just going to give you more of that. And you're going to constantly feel like being visible online and social media and all that is just an uphill battle. And it's going to suck the life out of you. And your business, your ability to be seen online is pivotal to growing your business because it is the way that you connect with humans. It's the way that you connect with all of your customers and clients. So you can't bypass it. You can't, like I did that for a really long time. I didn't want to do any of this work. So I was like, I'll just work on my money. I'll just work on, you know, perfecting my reels. I'll work on my clients' lead generation. Don't even get me started on lead generation. But I'll work on my lead generation. Like I did everything so that I could avoid the fact that at the end of the day, no matter what, if I'm running a business, I have to do this work. I have to be visible and I have to be willing to feel a bunch of stuff that I haven't been willing to feel or look at up until now. In order to connect, I'm just going to read my notes word for word here. In order to connect to more people online, you have to be able to expand your emotional capacity to be seen at that level. So kind of like a couple of you mentioned, you're afraid of saying the wrong thing and making people in your niche mad or disagreeing with them or triggering other people. That right there is going to be a block for allowing more people to see you and being more visible. Because in order to expand your emotional capacity in your nervous system to be seen at the next level, the only way out is through that shit. That's the only way. You have to look at it, be with it, see what it has for you, feel it, process it. Excuse me, I'm clearing energy apparently because I keep burping. And marketing is the ultimate practice in self-love and getting to know yourself and self-acceptance. Being visible online is the ultimate practice in self-love. Because where else in your life are you constantly in front of so many people where all of your wounds are open and you can just be fully ridiculed, right? And until we're willing to do that and feel that and be with those things, we limit our visibility again. Because we're protecting, it's a protection mechanism. Marketing is the ultimate practice in self-love, and the feelings you feel around marketing aren't caused by the marketing itself or by the algorithm or by the people. That's not what's causing the feelings you have. The app is not causing your feelings. The Instagram algorithm isn't causing your feelings. How many likes your post isn't causing the feelings you have. If you make a post and has 4 likes and you feel like shit, the 4 likes is not causing you to feel that way. All it's doing is mirroring back to you a part within you that was already there. Do you guys understand that? Because we blame the marketing, right? We blame the post, we blame the algorithm. All it's doing is holding up a mirror, showing you the parts of you that were already within you, already wounded, already hurt, already feeling that way. If you didn't feel that way, you wouldn't have that response. It's like Wayne Dyer always taught, when you squeeze an orange, what do you get? You get orange juice. When you squeeze an orange, what comes out of it is what's inside. Same thing with you. When you're squeezed, when life isn't working the way you want, when your marketing isn't working, when you're not visible, when nobody's liking your post, when nobody's signing up for your shit, when nobody's buying your program, what's coming out of you is what's inside. It's not the thing that caused it. It's just what happened to allow it to be squeezed. Does that make sense? But it was always in there ready to be healed, and it's not a bad thing. This is a good thing. These are good things that they're coming up. Because until you process them and go through them, you can't get to your next level. So, I'm looking at my notes here. The next note I had goes perfectly what I was just saying. It will bring up the exact wound patterns that your soul's ready to heal. And that's actually why I called the mastermind I'm starting on Monday, the mini mastermind, Sacred Magnetism, because to me, this work is soul work. It's so much deeper than just surface level marketing. Like, it's so deep because it is sacred in my opinion. And it will literally call up the exact wounds that your soul is ready to heal, and at each new level that you go to. And it doesn't have to be, I think sometimes we're like, oh, that sounds scary and terrifying and intense. It can be, but most of the time it's not. It's really not. We're more afraid of the fear than the fear is scary. Does that make sense? Like, we're so afraid of fear, but if you just actually let yourself go into it, it's like, oh, this isn't really that terrifying. This really wasn't that bad, right? In my experience, when we have the inner wounds, the first few can be a little heavy and a little hard, but after that, it's like, okay, like, you just get better at feeling, you get better at having your own back, you get better at being yourself, being there for yourself, you get better at taking shit and turning it into gold, which is another reason that the Sacred Magnetism is, I'm teaching inner alchemy, my version of inner alchemy. Alchemy and magic, the kind that I teach, I don't know about anybody else's, but the kind that I teach is literally teaching you how to transmute these heavy, darker wounds, these energies we feel around being online and being seen in our space or being who we are in our business. It's taking these wounds and alchemizing them so that you can literally transmute and turn them into gold, turn them into the thing that is literally going to be the thing for you. It's going to be the thing that grows your business. That wound that you're so afraid to deal with, what if that is, and it probably is, the thing that unlocks all the abundance for you? I also want you to understand that the more we go and expand the shadow, the more we expand the light simultaneously, because we live in a universe of duality. So a lot of the times what we're taught in the spiritual space is only focus on the positive, law of attraction, positive thinking, good feelings, high vibe. You don't want to go to the negative feelings because that'll lower your vibration. That's not how we do things, and that's not how we perform. That's not how we do magic, and that's not alchemy. Alchemy is actually going towards the shadow, knowing that the shadow is just as valid and just as beautiful and just as welcome and just as able to be accepted as the light. And in fact, when we're able to go into the shadow, we simultaneously expand our light. Does that make sense? And that's power, because the more that you do that, the more you're stepping into your power as a divine being on this planet who can create and manifest whatever you desire and help other people. We can't help, guys, we have an obligation. I'm going to actually use that word. We don't really, because, like, you have limitless lifetimes and you're just going to keep living forever. But in my opinion, there's a big part of my higher self that's often saying, Cassie, get on with it already. You got to get over the visibility shit because you have people to help. And it's the same thing for you. Your higher self brought you here because there's a part of you that's like, I know these things feel valid and real to you. They are valid and real. But let's get on with it already. You have people to help. And you're fucking wasting time. Like, that's what mine's always saying to me. Like, let's stop pretending that we aren't valid and we don't matter and we can't, all of that. Let's stop pretending and just line up with the version of you who's here to help a lot of fucking people. We can't help a lot of people if we're still stuck with these feelings and these blocks. So feel into the part of you. Well, I'm going to go, the last note I had, and then I really am going to go on the meditation because I keep saying I'm not, I keep saying I'm going to, and then I haven't, is feel into the part of you that has personal power. Like, feel in your body that part of you, and it may be really, really little right now, and it may feel like it's not even hardly there, but somewhere in you, there's a part of you that's really in her power when it comes to being visible online. Feel into that part of you. And no matter how small it feels right now, know that that part of you brought you here and it is ready to be brought online. It is ready to be activated. If you imagine like the visual I gave at the beginning with the light bulbs, it's like a light bulb and it's like, bitch, light me the fuck up. Let's go. Like, let's go. And it's going to keep sitting there and nagging at you until you step into your power. You can run from it all day long, but the lessons we don't learn in this lifetime, we just have to learn in another. So let's get on with it. You know, like, let's fucking go. So let's go into a quick meditation, because it's actually not a meditation. This is going to be more of an energy healing. I'm feeling into it for a second. Hold on. we're just going to see where it goes. Okay, we're going to feel into it. So if you're in a space to close your eyes, do that. Before I go into the meditation, because after that I'm going to wrap this up, I want you to know, number one, if you're in this group listening to this training and you didn't register, please register. I have a meditation I'm going to send you specifically around, it's super fun. It's a meditation to connect with your spirit guides, your marketing spirit guides. You guys have spirit guides for marketing specifically, like for social media. Did you know that? It's fucking cool. So I have a meditation. We're going to connect with your throat chakra and with your marketing guides and angels. And I'm going to send that to you for free. So if you're not registered though, you won't be on the email list to get the meditation. So make sure you just register. That way you get it. That's the first thing I want to say. Second thing was, one last thing for Sacred Magnetism. If you are interested in working together, I have a special offer just for those of you who are in this group or registered for this event that isn't available if you're just like watching me on Instagram stories. So I want to share that now. If you are interested in joining Sacred Magnetism, I will share the link in the comments. It has all the details. If you have any questions, just message me. And it's 6 weeks mastermind going really deep into this work so that you can stop feeling invisible online and step into your sacred magnetism. And it's the inner alchemy to do this work. And I'm also going to be teaching messaging in there, but messaging from a soulful perspective. I have some very different opinions and views on messaging and how to message and market. God, why can't I say that word? Message and market so that it does resonate with your people. And I do think there are some very, very soul-aligned strategies that you can apply. So I'm going to be teaching some of the strategies that I use for messaging. But I also definitely in a way where it's like, always trust yourself, always trust your intention, your own intuition, and know that it's really a space for us to mastermind what's going to be good for you, because the way that you want to market, the way that you want to sell, the way you want to show up online is so unique to you. And that's why I wanted the Voxer component with it, so I can really talk to each person and be like, let's talk it out, let's work through this. And it's not just like, here's the strategy, like that doesn't work. So that starts Monday. It's the first test group. So with a test group, I do a lower price. So for those of you who are registered, my dogs are so annoying, for this event, you can join at $1,444, and it gets you lifetime access to the course, which literally is like, it's like this on steroids. All of the meditations, all of the hypnosis that you're going to get, and then Voxer coaching with me for 6 weeks. And then I'm also going to give you guys access to my private client only podcast. So that is $1,444 for you guys, and until Sunday. After Sunday, you can still join, but the price goes up to the normal price that everybody else on social media gets, which is $1,800. So again, if you're interested, link will be in the comments when this is done. Make sure to register for this event if you haven't, so you get the meditation. I think that's it. Let's go into a meditation if you're available to do so. Ah! Guys, my nanny probably thinks I'm crazy half the time. I'm sweating so bad right now. I'm reading your comments really quick. Okay. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and I want you to, let's call in our team today. Let's make it fun. So we're actually going to call in our marketing guides, angels, higher self, whatever resonates for you. So if guides doesn't resonate, call in your higher self, call in your marketing team from, the cosmos, whatever resonates with you. God, divinity. And we're going to call in the highest crystalline light to surround this as a sacred healing space. We're going to release any lower vibrations into this light. We're going to actually create a grounding cord from our crown chakra down through every chakra. So just imagine it going like down through the center of your body, down your legs, down your feet, and down, 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 down. Really, really strongly into the center of the earth. When it reaches the center of the earth, it's going to wrap around the core of the earth 3 times, and then we're actually going to pull that energy right back up through the bottom of our feet, our legs, our knees, through every chakra, back up through the top of our head to bring that earth energy through our body. And then we're actually going to call on cosmic energy. So I want you to imagine energy of the highest love and light and support coming in through all of your chakras, down, down, down from heaven, through your crown chakra, and again, down right into your throat chakra, your heart, everywhere, until it's kind of just blending and mixing with that earth energy we already called up. You need to move your body. I feel the need to swivel. We're going to swivel if you need to. If you're just hopping on, you're probably like, what is she doing? So I want you to actually bring this cosmic energy that we called in, and I want you to breathe it into the heart space. And imagine that with every inhalation, this light in your chest gets brighter. And with every exhalation, it kind of fills your aura, fills your body, and kind of just expands out from you. Okay, interesting. So what's coming through is not the original meditation I had planned. We're actually going to do a soulmate client meditation. So this is different. I'm glad that I went with my intuition here. So we're actually going to connect with your soulmate clients in this meditation. So breathe in the light into your chest again. And as you exhale, just imagine this light getting brighter and extending beyond your aura. And now it's just traveling out into the entire room, or if you're outside, it's just starting to fill up the space outside. As you breathe in, it gets brighter right in the center of your chest, and as you exhale, it extends beyond into the town you're in. And again, inhale, it gets brighter. Exhale, it's extending beyond to the city, the state. And again, as you exhale, this light continues to extend effortlessly to the entire country until this light is wrapping around all of planet Earth and surrounding it in this golden white light. And this energy is continuing to expand, and I want you to imagine that you're actually up above Earth, floating in space, looking down on Earth, and it's just fully surrounded by your magnetic heart energy. And as you breathe into this, I want you to feel into all of your dream clients. They're down there on Earth. They're surrounded by your energy, and as you're looking at Earth, you're noticing that little lights are lighting up throughout the field. You're actually creating an energetic grid around planet Earth. And those who you desire to work with, and who also desire to work with you on a soul level, at a new level, at the level you're desiring to go to, you're actually stepping into and embodying that now, and you've created an energetic grid. And all of these lights and all of these people are coming online. And every time somebody lights up, it's another soulmate client, and another, and another, and another. And just watch as these lights light up, and feel in your body all the excitement and joy you have, because there's so many people who resonate with you and are lighting up on this grid. And just take some time to breathe that in and enjoy watching more and more lights turn on. Now just breathe into this space and feel into the hearts of these people. I want you to imagine there's a cord going from your heart chakra to the hearts of every one of these people. And you're breathing, and as you breathe out, you feel into their energy, and you feel into their heart, and you feel into their soul, and you feel into what they deeply desire. And it's almost like you're vibing together, like you're breathing in and out, and you feel their energy and they feel yours, and you're just on the same wavelength, and it just feels really blissful and relaxed. And as you do this, know that you're connecting with your soulmate clients. You're attracting them through your energy of how you're now choosing to be. It's not about going out and doing something to make it happen. It's not about, I'm going to go on the physical plane and I'm going to write the perfect post so that maybe people will finally want to work with me. this work isn't on the physical plane. This work is on the soul plane. That's what people are going to connect with you through, because you are a modern day mystic. You are a business mystic. You are a soulpreneur. You are a divine being here to help people. Whatever resonates with you, that's where your people are connecting with you at. Now, I want you to imagine like a large bubble around your body. And this bubble has like a window or a door. Actually, it's a door. And you can open the door and you can welcome in your soulmate clients who you are just so excited to work with. And imagine them walking through the door and they're hugging you and you're hugging them because you know you're about to have the best motherfucking time. Like, get pumped because you're so excited. Right? Like, feel how you feel when they're coming in and they're there and they're ready to vibe with you and you're ready to change their life. And just sit in that energy and enjoy it for a moment. And welcome them in, hug them, give them a kiss, whatever you want to do, and just be so pumped because you're about to spend some time together. Thank them and honor them for taking this time with you in this space and being with you. And surrender as well. There's a piece here. There's a way that we think it should be, but our soul always knows the best and highest good for us and for everyone. So if you're imagining all these people coming in for, like, let's say you have a specific offer and you're imagining all these people coming into your bubble and you're welcoming them, and then there is a piece here where you say, I surrender my way to make way for God's way. I surrender my way and how I think it has to be to make way for God's way. So we don't have to make these people come and buy from us. We don't have to like go out and try to get the people. We just show up and be who we are. And we really surrender it, knowing that everything is always adding up. It's always working out. It's going to work out better than I could ever have expected. It's this or something better. It's always a gift. I'm here for it. I surrender how I think it's supposed to be or how many people I think are supposed to be signing up. And I make way for exactly what is divinely meant to happen. And whenever you're ready, come back down into your body, into this present moment, into this present space, and just collect any energy that may be splattered or feeling like it's other places. Like, draw back all your energy from all times, spaces, lives, bring it right back to here. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And then in the comments, you can feel free to share anything that came up for you. I feel like I just traveled through time and space. Oh, I love channeling meditations for you guys. I totally planned a different meditation. I was going to do more of an energy healing and emotional release meditation. I actually did that on a client call before this, and it was beautiful. And when I got into meditation, it was like, nope, we're not going there. There's a big part of the collective here that is feeling like you're ready to work with a higher level person. I don't even want to say higher level, just a more, like, you're ready to step into this new level, this new way of being, this new energy, but you're still stuck with the old energy. So the meditation is more so like, let's connect with that new energy. Who is this person and what do they feel like, and connecting with them energetically. And now we've connected the cord, you can draw them into your reality. My heart is full and tingly all the way through my fingertips. I love that, Sharon. Samantha said, wow, that was incredible. I feel like that was so fun. I wish I had recorded that so I could, like, maybe I'll have my virtual assistant like take this sound snippet and make it into a meditation or something, because I can never redo that. Like, once you channel something, you can't do the same thing twice. I love that. Awesome. So glad you guys enjoyed that. So I think that's it. I have to wrap up because my nanny has to go. I hate ending the lives because there's a part of me that's like, I wish I could just hang out all day. And there's so many things here I didn't get to that I'm like, oh, that would have been so good. I wish I had time to talk about it. But I'm seeing if there's anything that I have time to get to, and I really don't. But you know what? What's meant to be will be. Everybody who is here, we set the intention, got what they needed. So if you have any remaining questions, put them in the comments. I'll send you guys the email later today. I think that's it. I love you guys. It's an honor serving you. It's an honor being here with you. And yes, if you're interested in Sacred Magnetism, I'm holding space for 10 women to join. Link is in comments if you feel called. Would love to have you. And the sale price is good until Sunday for you guys. All right, love you guys. Oh, yay. Have a good day.